Mr. Foreign Minister, first of all, thank you for accepting our interview.
Thank you for having me.
And welcome to Turkey.
Thank you.
This is, I think, your first trip as a foreign minister to Turkey.
It's my first trip as a foreign minister to Ankara, and it's been fantastic so far.
Welcome again. My first question is, under new leadership of Pakistan, what two countries are going to target on the aspect of bilateral relations?
I think as far as the relationship between the people of Pakistan and the people of Turkey are concerned, this is truly such a relationship where it's not just government to government, but it's people to people. The people of Turkey and the people of Pakistan have an affection for one another that is continued from generation to generation, and across the political spectrum, a truly bipartisan consensus across all political parties in Pakistan and vice versa. So as far as the political transition is concerned that we've been experiencing in Pakistan, we all agree on enhancing Pakistan-Turkey relations. This year marks the 75th anniversary of our diplomatic relationship, and our Prime Minister's trip with a high-powered delegation signifies the importance he attaches to this relationship and how we want to further enhance and unlock the potential between our two countries. As the Prime Minister said in his speech yesterday, that whenever Pakistan has faced a difficult time, be it in our earthquakes in 2005 or the floods of 2010 and 2011, it has been the people of Turkey and the government of Turkey and the President of Turkey that has come to our aid. And whenever and whatever capacity Pakistan has been able to assist the people of Turkey, we have always been forthcoming on that front. But as far as our economic relations are concerned, the Prime Minister feels, his government feels, we all feel that there is far more potential to be unlocked. And our economic cooperation does not reflect the depth of the relationship between our two countries. So our first priority is to enhance the trade between our two countries. And the Prime Minister has set an ambitious target of where our trade, bilateral trade at the moment stands at around $1 billion. He's put a target of $5 billion for us to reach within the space of 2 years. And so far on this trip, he's engaged with the business community, and today, once again, all the ministers and the business community and the trade minister of Turkey and the business community of Turkey and the business community of Pakistan had a very fruitful engagement. And we're looking forward to enhancing these relations.
But there is a new leadership in Pakistan, so should we expect new developments between two countries? Should we expect something new, something different than Imran Khan's leadership?
So as far as the relationship between Pakistan and Turkey is concerned, I said it before and I'll reiterate, this is truly a bipartisan approach. And whether it's Mr. Imran Khan, Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, whether it's the Prime Minister that will come in the future, or any Prime Minister that has come in the past, we attach the utmost importance to our relationship with Turkey. But of course, the new government is particularly focused on unlocking the true potential between our two countries, which is why the Prime Minister has such an ambitious target. And we are fully confident that we will be able to work together in a more efficient and effective manner to unlock the potential between our two countries.
Mr. Foreign Minister, President Erdogan is well acquainted with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif for all time. And President Erdogan has always raised his voice against atrocities in Kashmir. So how can both leaders come together to resolve the decade-long conflict there?
The President of Turkey enjoys fantastic relationships with the cross-spectrum of political leadership in Pakistan, including a particularly close association with our current Prime Minister, Mr. Shehbaz Sharif. And the Turkish leadership has consistently been outspoken for the rights of Muslims across the world, the rights of the persecuted across the world. And we particularly appreciate their strong, consistent and emphatic support for the people of Kashmir and the autocracies committed in Indian-occupied Kashmir. As you may be well aware, as of August 5th, 2019, the Indian government conducted a serious breach of the rights of the people of Kashmir by attempting to undermine the internationally recognized disputed status of the region and begin a process to convert the Muslim majority of the area artificially convert them into a minority. First by allowing the purchase of land and by non-Kashmiris in Kashmir, and most recently, on the 5th of May of this year, the so-called Elimination Commission of the Indian regime has gerrymandered the electorate in Indian-occupied Kashmir, where the Muslim majority is once again a bit undermined, and an attempt has been made to artificially enhance the influence and scope of the non-Muslim minority. Turkish people, the Turkish government, the Turkish president has consistently and steadfastly stood by the just cause of the Kashmiri people. Most recently, the unfair conviction of Yasin Malik in Kashmir has been taken up by our government within the OIC and within the UN, and we look forward to working with our Turkish counterparts to continue to raise a voice for the people of Kashmir.
Your recent trip was to China, as far as I know, to China.
I've had an extensive trip that started off at the United Nations for the Food Security Conference. From there, I was in China for my first bilateral visit with the foreign minister. And from there, I joined our counterparts in Davos for a healthy exchange of ideas. And from there, I directly reached Turkey to join the Prime Minister in this diplomatic endeavor.
The question is, Pakistan is a closest ally, has been Pakistan's closest ally was China for a long time. So what will be the bilateral relations between two countries, and where Pakistan is going to stand with the politics with the United States?
So as far as Pakistan and China are concerned, we are neighbors. And as you were aware, particularly within our culture and our religion, our neighbors enjoy a specific respect. Unfortunately, Pakistan faces some challenges. China is one of the countries in our neighborhood that we are engaged with economically to an impressive capacity. Unfortunately, our other neighbors, we have been unable to unlock that potential. And even we believe that there is more potential to be unlocked between Pakistan and China. Pakistan and China's relationship are deep and historically rooted. We started our diplomatic relations with China a long time ago. And I like to say that nowadays that there are lots of countries all over the world that are looking to be friends with China, to be close to China, to work with China. And Pakistan was among those few countries that wanted to be friends with China at a time when perhaps the rest of the world wasn't so keen to be friends with China. And generation to generation, we have invested and developed this relationship. The most recent manifestation of the advancement between the relationship between our two countries is when Pakistan became part of the One Belt, One Road initiative and our China-Pakistan economic corridor that has provided job opportunities, economic opportunities to the people of Pakistan and to the people of China. And we are indeed looking to enhance those relationships while at the same time engaging with countries across the world.
Mr. Foreign Minister, there is a big problem is rising right now all around the world, Islamophobia.
Yes.
And we can see in the Western countries the Muslims are under attack in a different way. Even in the Muslim countries, in the Middle East, in Northern Africa, in different parts of Asia, in India, etc. So how these two countries, Turkey and Pakistan, will come with a solution to prevent Islamophobia and to make a kind of new leadership?
So I believe that the challenge of extremism and hatred knows no religion and has been threatening people of all faiths all over the world. But obviously, we feel the issue of Islamophobia more closely, particularly the government of Turkey and the government of Pakistan are very seized of this issue. We are very grateful for the cooperation of the Turkish government and our joint efforts to establish, to raise this issue, whether it is at the United Nations or at the OIC. And it's a significant development that at the United Nations we've managed to declare a day to mark Islamophobia across the world. I don't believe Islamophobia, as you rightly said, is an issue that is confined to the West. Muslims in the West are facing Islamophobia, but Muslims in my region are facing Islamophobia. Muslims in my neighborhood are facing Islamophobia. You mentioned the issue of Kashmir. There is a specific targeted effort by the government of the occupying forces that systematically dehumanizes the Muslim population in Kashmir. But it's not only the Muslim population in Kashmir that is feeling insecure. The Muslim population in India, which is a sizable population within India, is feeling the brunt of this transition from the Indian secular state to the Indian Hindutva state. And the people of India in states across the country are being persecuted. They are victims of mob lynchings, cow lynchings, a whole host of awful stories that we have to face on a daily basis. So it's very important for countries like Pakistan and like Turkey to raise this issue on international forums, as we have done, and to continue to work together to discuss these issues with the states and in the countries where this is a problem.
Especially India. In India, nobody is raising the voice. What is happening in India? I mean, millions of Muslims now under pressure right there.
Absolutely.
So, what Pakistan is planning to do? I mean, regarding the relations with the Indian government to protect the Muslims there. Do you have any plan?
As far as the Muslim population of India is concerned, I believe that there are brave citizens in India who are fighting for the rights of their fellow Indians, whether they be Muslim or non-Muslim. There is a strong belief amongst the people of India that discrimination is bad. There's faith in the concept of secularism and the genuine idea of India. Unfortunately, that idea is under attack. We, as the government of Pakistan, continue to consistently raise our voice on issues that concern us within India, with particular focus, however, on the illegally occupied areas of Kashmir, where we believe that the persecution and the discrimination is at its peak. I, since having taken office of Foreign Minister of Pakistan, have been seized with the issues of the 5th Maid Elimination Commission and of the issue of Mr. Yasin Malik's conviction in illegal conviction in occupied Kashmir. I have raised these issues with the OIC, with the United Nations Secretary General, and at various forums. And I look forward to working together, particularly through the OIC, to raise awareness and mobilize the international community around protecting the rights of the persecuted.
Is Pakistan planning to normalize ties with Israel?
No. Pakistan has its deep, meaningful, generational relationship with the people of Palestine. We have our own history and our own commitments to the people of Palestine. And whatever our policy will be going forward, it will always be guided by the government and the people of Palestine. We will not compromise or move back on our position, and particularly with the new government, there's been no change in our policy. We do look forward to the day where the people of Palestine are given their rights. They're given their right to self-determination and the rights guaranteed through the United Nations, so that we can move towards peace in the Middle East.
And one of other conflict areas is Afghanistan, and in the border area, in recent months, maybe we can say, there are some clashes in the border areas. So what you see in the future, what is going to happen with the Taliban regime in Pakistan?
I think that the people of Afghanistan have really been shortchanged by history, and they have suffered conflict generation to generation. And I don't want to go into sort of thrashing out history or fighting over what happened in the past. I think it's important to address the issues as we see them today. And the ground realities are that the people of Afghanistan are facing a humanitarian crisis. They're facing the threat of total economic collapse. 95% of their population are in danger of falling beneath the poverty line. And the question that the Muslim world must ask, the international community must ask, is, are we going to allow for a repeat of history? Are we going to allow for the people of Afghanistan to be abandoned yet again? And what does that mean? What does that say about the international community. First of all, I believe that an economic collapse of Afghanistan and an inability to address the humanitarian crisis would have serious consequences, not just for the people of Pakistan, not just for the people of Afghanistan, also for the people of Pakistan, also for the region, and also for the international community. It is our moral obligation to assist the people of Afghanistan in averting the humanitarian crisis, mitigating the economic collapse, no matter what one feels about the new regime in charge in Afghanistan.
All the people in the world are now experiencing kind of crisis, a big economic crisis,
Yes.
food shortage, and other things. So how these two countries, Turkey and Pakistan, can fight, and what can be cooperation to fight the economic, to fight the inflation, and this food shortage to solve?
So I believe that the most pressing issue for the people across the world is this economic difficulties that we are facing as a result of a whole host of issues. The economic cycle has its ups and downs, but we cannot pretend that recently we have felt a significant number of shocks that have made it difficult for the people across the world. And the economic situation, whether you're a citizen of Turkey or whether you're a citizen of Pakistan, whether you're a citizen of Europe, whether you're a citizen of America, is quite grave, and people are feeling economically insecure. And the challenge of inflation is one of the many challenges that we are all facing. This challenge has been aggravated by the COVID crisis, which is an existential crisis to global health, which is still ongoing. Millions of people have died, and people are still, their health and their lives are still at risk. We are witnessing the effects of another existential crisis, the climate change crisis. Yeah. And Pakistan is one of the most climate-stressed countries, and as a result of that, we face water insecurity, food insecurity, energy insecurity. In addition to all these existential crises, unfortunately, there have been geopolitical events and conflicts right in the middle of these crises. Most recently, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine.
Yes.
And I believe that history will ask us that when humanity was faced by existential crises, did we unite as one humanity to face the threats to humankind? No, we did not. Instead of uniting to face these threats, we have descended into further conflict. And that is surely not the solution. It is of the utmost importance that we pursue peace through dialogue and diplomacy so that we can join together to face existential crises such as the global health crisis, the climate crisis, or more importantly, the economic challenges that we all face. Instead of dividing the world into competing zones and fighting with each other, I believe that if we were all working with each other to enhance trade, if we were going to compete to have economic competition rather than military competition, then we could all work together to alleviating the utmost priority of all the people all over the world, which is our economic challenges.
Exactly. My last two questions, you already answered some part of it, the conflict, the war in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Russia is pressing and the war is still continue. The West keeps sending some weapons to Ukraine to support Ukrainian government. Where does Pakistan stand in this conflict?
So Pakistan, as I said, is very keen that the whole world pursue dialogue and diplomacy in the pursuit of peace for the reasons that I mentioned. And I must commend the actions of Turkey, particularly the president of your country, during this crisis, for his efforts to try to bring both sides to talk to each other directly and resolve this conflict through dialogue. We believe that is the way forward, and we support Turkey in these efforts.
Okay. My last question is about the relations between two countries again. There are lots of partnership, cooperation in the military area between Turkey and Pakistan. So what are we going to see next? I mean, there are some ships, helicopters, etc. What is next?
It's been one of the most interesting areas of enhanced cooperation between the two countries are our defense cooperations. And I'm so pleased to learn that we are continuing to work with each other on these fronts. And I believe there's a lot more potential for both countries to unlock on these fields, and you will see going forward that this is one of the areas where our enhanced cooperation will be beneficial to both sides.
Thank you, Mr. Foreign Minister. If you have anything to add?
I'm just very grateful for this opportunity to speak to the people of Turkey. Thank you.
Thank you.